I was contacted by a company known as OUTFITR. They produce various racks for vehicles, hitch racks. This is the EZ Rack 2 with ramp for loading your e-bike or regular bicycle. As a disclaimer, I'm not getting paid for this. They reached out to me and asked me if I would review this rack for its ease of use for handicapped people, people with disabilities. In doing such, I get to keep the rack. I will be reviewing it throughout this cycling season. As you can see, it's real stable, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to roll video. I'm going to show you a little bit about its assembly. There's not going to be much on the assembly, but I will show you how to install it, how it works, basically what you need to assemble it with, and we'll see how it goes. And afterward, I'll demonstrate its operation, and we'll go from there. This is the box that the EZ-FOLD 2 bike rack comes packed in. It is packed in there very nicely to prevent damage from shipping. Everything is put in there very neat, very nice. They did not include the instructions though, so that did cause me a few issues. I had to email them, and they did send me a video on how to put it together. It's not difficult. That's the ramp that I'm taking out right now. That is made of aluminum, and it has a spring pin that holds it to the rack. I'm taking out the boss arms, which sit vertically on the rack, and your clamps attached to those that hold the bike. Those are the baskets that attach to the aluminum tray. That's the tray I have in my left hand. It takes 4 bolts that are made out of steel to hold those together. You'll need a 16mm wrench or socket to put those together. That's the second one. You have to be mindful when you're putting these together. They are oriented a certain way. There is an upside down and a right side up to them. You don't want to put them on upside down, or you'll be taking them apart again. There's part of the hitch assembly that I'm taking out. Those are made of steel, as you can hear when they hit the floor. That's what gives it its weight. That's where the weight comes into this rack. Everything else is made out of aluminum or rubber or plastic. Those are the clamps that go to the boss bars, sit on there to help you clamp your bike in once it's all put together. Now I'm taking out the hardware, which is made out of steel. It comes with a really long hitch pin, which is threaded, and that screws up into the hitch. You have to have a 24mm wrench or socket to put that together with, and I'll show that when we get to it. Now I'm attaching the baskets where the front tire goes onto the aluminum tray. Like I said, that takes 4 bolts to hold that on. The tray is aluminum, the nuts are steel, so you want to use your 16mm wrench or socket gently, as not to strip out that aluminum. And also be mindful how you put them together. You want them oriented correctly so you don't have to take them apart again. Now I've got the hitch assembled, and I'm going to put it onto my vehicle. I'm going to say it weighs about 50 pounds. As far as a handicapped person being able to do this, you probably should have someone help you insert it. The steel parts of this hitch are heavy, and it does take a little bit of finagling to get it in there. There's the 24mm. It'll take a 24mm wrench to put that in. It's threaded and it has very long threads on it. It would be very difficult for somebody to take it off. It would take quite a bit of time. They do make a model with a lock. I'm using a 24mm box-in wrench there to put it on, and I'll demonstrate in a few minutes just a few seconds here. There it is, putting the bolt in with a socket wrench. That is also 24 millimeter, and I find it to be a whole lot easier to take it on and off with a socket wrench. You can just see how many threads you have on that hitch pin to screw up into the hitch, and it does secure up very tightly, and it will not wiggle around once it's secured. It does take a 2-inch hitch. You have to have a 2-inch hitch. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Now I'm going to come around and we're going to put the pin in. And the pin just simply goes over like that. There's your finished product. You can see the tray, which is put in on the end of the rack. There's the spring-loaded clasp that holds it together, holds it in there. It does have a 200-pound weight capacity. Maximum weight is 200 pounds, which would handle anything you want to put on there, e-bike wise or bicycle wise. You should be fine. People have said that the vertical arms that hold your bike, the bosses, are wiggly. I did not find that at all. They have to be torqued down to, I think it's 50 Newton pounds. And I'll show you how hard they are to come up. It takes a little energy. So they don't wiggle around. Once you put it in the folding position, you're not going to have any problems with that. And right there, I'm unscrewing the mounts that you would clamp onto your bike. You can move those up and down. You do not need to take those off when you stow this rack and fold it. It's not necessary. They're not going to move any further down than that. That's as far as they're going to go, and they're not going to move upwards. They're just too tight for that. And you can see that rotates 360 degrees to clamp any bike that you may put on there. It's a very nice rack. It's going to be a blessing for me to be able to use this when I'm out riding. These are the type of sockets that you will need to complete this assembly. You can substitute with an adjustable wrench. You'll need a 3/8 inch ratchet extension will help. 24 millimeter open end, box end, or adjustable wrench. You want to make sure that you get your bolt in correctly that secures the hitch. It goes on the back hole of the two. It goes from right to left, and then you screw your nut in on the left-hand side, and the pin, of course, slides in from the left to the right. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get it in because the boss is in the way. To lift, remove your pin. You need to lift up on the rack slightly to get the hitch pin out. It does require a little help if you have somebody to help you, especially with being disabled. Put that somewhere where you don't lose it, and simply stow it up next to your vehicle. And reinsert your pin and put the little clasp on it, the little cotta pin, and there's a complete project. It's what it looks like when it's all stowed away. You can see it's very clean, very durable. If anything shakes or rattles or does not fit securely, you don't have it put together correctly, and you need to re-examine how you've put it together and tighten anything or adjust anything that needs adjusting. I'm going to pull the pin out. It's a simple procedure. And we'll let the rack swivel down. It comes down very firm and solidly. And I'll just go around and put the pin back in. Slides in from left to right. It's the only way it can go in. And then put your clasp back on and your rack is down and ready to go. These are the ratchet straps. The wheel set. The rubber piece goes over the rim That keeps you from scratching up your wheel set. We'll come around, pull the pin out for the aluminum ramp. You can see how that works. And we'll just take that off and set it aside for the time being. Now I'm going to come around and I'm going to lift up the outbound boss. You can see how solidly that comes up, no wiggling, no moving. I'm going to move the 360-degree clamp around, as you can see, and I'm going to raise it up and down. That's your degree of adjustment, and you can take it off and put it in various other positions if you so choose, but we're going to leave that like it is for the time being. I'm going to raise the boss for the inbound and get ready to load the Trek Verve. I'm going to set it up high because it's an extra large frame and it needs to be up that high, and I'm going to undo my ratchet strap. Now I'm going to take my ramp and I'm going to insert it into the tray for the bike. It has two hooks on the end of it, the aluminum ramp, and it slides into the two grooves onto the tray where your bike will sit. I'm going to roll the Trek Verve up onto the rack. And I'll get out of the way so you can see how I hook it in. I'm going to take my clamp, rotate it around, put it over top of the top tube, making sure that my rubber protection piece is in place. Slide it through the ratchet and pull it tight. I'm going to come down and take the ratchet strap for the wheels, rubber piece in place, put it through the ratcheting device and pull it tight. I want to come around and do the same thing for the front wheel. All done. Bike is on there very solid. I'm going to put the boss up for the outbound bike. Come around and get my ramp. Take it over to the other side, and it goes on the same fashion. I'm going to load my wife's iPad foldable step-through bike. It's a cruiser bike. It's made of steel and extremely heavy. The seat tube on this bike is laid back somewhat, and your boss will adjust to match that, as you'll see me do here in a minute. I'm going to adjust it and put it in place. Run it through. Put your rubber piece around your frame. Slide it through your ratcheting device. Pull it tight. I'm going to have to move the chock back for this bike. It's a quick release. You raise it up, slide it back, and then push it down. Secure it. And I'm going to put the straps around the rear wheel and the front wheel. These are 26-inch wheels, and they're about 2 inches wide. These racks will accommodate a wheel width up to 5 inches. No worries at all getting your electric bikes on this rack. Or your fat tired mountain bike for that matter. Check everything out. Pick the ramp up. Goes in like so. It's got grooves cut into it, notches into the top. There's no way you can mess up putting it on. It only goes on one way. And you want to slide your pin and put the spring-loaded catch back of it. See how solid everything is on. Excellent. This is a crossbar, spring-loaded, that I would have to use on this bike if I were to put it on a regular hitch hook style that you can buy from your box stores. This thing is spring-loaded and extremely persnickety to use. It will mash your fingers, as you'll see here in a minute. There is absolute need for that with this rack. You can take that and put it away. And I'm getting ready to pinch my finger. One of many things has done that to me. And there it is. And there's the result. Spring-loaded finger masher. No need for that at all with this rack. Outfitter included some Velcro straps with the rack. There are 3 of them in case you need to tie something to your bike or attach something to your rack. Very nice gesture. It's time to take this rack out on its maiden voyage. We're going to pull out on the main highway. Speed limit is 55 miles an hour. You can see there's no moving, swaying, shifting. The vehicle and the bikes and the rack all move as one unit. We're going to take several turns. Then I'm going to get on some dirt roads, and then I'll park, unload the bike, and go for a ride. Unloading the bikes is the very same as loading them.